Hello, friends. How are you? I'm KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, and I am so glad that you're here with me. And thank you for joining. I see my guest is here right away, and while he's coming into the room, I want everyone to do me a favor. Please share this episode. This is going to be fantastic. You're going to learn so much from our guest, Christopher Singleton. And, hello, how are you? Hello, hello, hello. You know what? I'm going to invite my guest. I'm going to invite some of my friends as well. And I want you to do the same. Chris, let me know if you got that. I hope you received it.
Yep. Howdy, howdy.
Hello, hello, hello. And
How's it
I'm
going?
looking. There you are. So nice to see you. So nice to meet you.
Same.
Yes. And I want you to make sure that you share. I'm just taking a moment to invite some of my friends. And please do the same.
Cool. I tried to, let's
And
see.
we have someone here that said, hi, Chris.
Hey, hey.
The
Howdy, howdy.
children.
Let's see.
So
I'm
we're
doing
just
one.
sharing and inviting folks. Make sure you share. While you're sharing, I want you to know that I want to remind you that my book, Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, the second edition, is about to launch on August 23rd. And if you like books for kids who are ages 8 to 12, chapter books, this is the book for you. It's a wonderful historical fiction book, and I'll tell you more about it a little later. You can join my book launch community if you hop on over to Facebook. And I'm just looking and inviting friends.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we are going to get started.
It's nice to see. Yep.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm waving to some of my friends who are coming on in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I said, my book is about to launch on August 23rd, so stay tuned. You want to be involved with that. My guest this week for the Lit Life series is Christopher Singleton. He is a musician on a mission. That's what I call him. He wants to make the piano more accessible to everyone, to as many people as possible. And to accomplish this, he uses music to teach early literacy to help infants, toddlers, and preschoolers. So welcome, Chris. So glad that you're here. Do me a favor and just introduce yourself and tell us some things about yourself.
Cool. Well, my name has already been stated. Um, I am a husband. My wife and I will be celebrating 7 years, August 15th.
Yeah.
Um, so looking forward to that. We had a interesting journey to becoming parents, like many have. When we first got married in 2015, we were expecting, and we had a miscarriage about 9 weeks in. Then 2017, we're expecting twin boys, and we lost them at about 19 weeks. Um, 2018, we're expecting again, and I'm like, God, is this going to happen? Is it not going to happen? So there were like nerves like the whole time. But November 3rd, 2018, my mom had always said to me, God's not saying no, he's just saying not yet. And our not yet had came 2018 on November 3rd. Christopher Jr. was born. We call him CJ. And my wife and I, my wife and I moved down to Charlotte in 2020, and we found out a month later that we were expecting another child, and his name is Joshua, and he was born on Veterans Day of 2020. So we have two rainbow babies, Splatter, CLTICU, and basically during the day I mold very young minds and I change diapers for a living. That's what I do for work. Outside of that, I love making music and I love writing stories. Like I just write like all the time, and that's me. I'm the oldest of five. I love banana pudding. I'll probably make the best banana pudding you ever tasted. Don't believe the hype of anybody else. That's definitely my one specialty. And I think that's all that I have for introduction.
Oh my goodness, you have inspired me already. It's just touching to hear um, your story and the beginning of your marriage. I am a person who happened to have had three miscarriages as well,
Well,
and so I know the struggle and the heart wrenching
hmm
that takes you through. And God bless you and your wife
thank
and your
you.
family. I'm so glad that God said, okay, now it's time.
And
Now it's
same, yeah.
time. Yeah. So tell us about Chris and Frankie. Who is that? Who are
Cool.
they?
So January of 2019, I was at work, and basically what happened is we were learning about primary, secondary colors, and I'm like, all right, I want to take what I've been teaching over the years because I've done many piano workshops and piano courses. I want to take what I've done, tie it in with primary colors and secondary colors, and create a story that will make the piano more accessible. So Chris, which just happens to be my name, and Frankie came, and I don't have their original version, but I made a simple version. Um, I published it rather in 2020, and then in 2021, it ended up looking like this.
Yes,
So I'm gonna do a little quick mini lesson. If you look at the logo, what color is Chris's name?
yellow.
So Chris has something yellow about him. So is he on the? I think it's your left or your right.
He's on my right.
All right, cool. Sorry. So we got Chris right here,
Yes.
and Frankie has something red about him. So Frankie's over here. What's the first letter in Chris's name?
C.
So Chris right here, his first key. Whenever you see two black keys, is always going to be a C.
Okay.
And for Frankie, whenever you see three black keys, his name starts with an F. So his first key is an F. So that's the little quick mini lesson.
Wow. Thank you. I was like, okay, where are we going with this? I see those,
Yep.
and I'm sure kids respond to that, and it helps to cement that you got those primary colors,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you're cementing
Oh,
in. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so speaking of which, I don't know how clear it is, but you mix yellow and blue, you get your green. That's why in the middle he has a green tongue and
Yeah.
green sneakers, and then over here it's the opposite. You mix your red and your blue, and you get your purple tongue, which you can barely see, and your purple sneakers.
Wow. I never would have. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. So you showed us that book. I know that you have another book as well.
Yes.
Tell us about that book.
Cool. So basically, what
Well,
happened?
before we go to that book,
Yep.
show us some of the illustrations in the book that you just held up.
Cool. So we got Chris telling you that there's some parts in the book where you will need to use a magnifying glass because there's some hidden things, or use your phone and zoom in. But we got Chris explaining that he has a yellow eye and a blue eye, and that Frankie has a red eye and blue eye. Now let me see if I can find one of my favorite pages. So this is one of my favorite pages. Um, it's talking about homonyms, the word right and the word right, and I just love it because that was something that just came to me randomly, Then this is another one of my favorite pages. This is actually a shout out to my mom because this is originally he had sweet potato pie, and I asked him to change it to a blueberry cherry cream cheese pie because that's something that my mom makes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That is so nice. So
and
now,
and then sorry, I just got one more page. The
okay.
highlight of the book is one of the final pages teaches you how to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Oh, wow. Yes, I see. So now, are you working with children in schools, or do you give piano lessons at a music store? How do you reach children?
So right now, I'm actually working on getting my LLC up and running. I don't want to say the name because I don't want it stolen, but I am I am in the process of I'm going to be giving free mini lessons to any school within the Charlotte Mecklenburg region. And then my hope is that by doing that, the schools will find a way to support me back. That doesn't necessarily mean purchasing 100 copies of my book or anything like that, but simply just telling more people about what I do. And the more people that are aware, the more people that can support me in whatever way is feasible for them. The easiest way to support, I know that's a question for later, is simply requesting the book at your library and and actually borrowing it, reading it, and leaving a review.
That is wonderful. Children, they respond very well to music, as you
Oh
know,
yeah,
and unfortunately, in some schools, music is
it's being taken
sometimes
out.
one of the first things that they cut with
Yep,
budget cuts.
yep.
And so what you're doing is providing that service for them. And I'm wishing you and praying that that will be successful for you
Thank you.
because it's needed.
Hmm.
It will help children. And wow, that's all I can say. Yes. So you talked a little bit about it. How do you help early literacy with music? You talked a little bit about it already.
Yep. So basically, I didn't know what the word is, but it's called decodable readers. So basically, they're books that focus on using words that are phonetically easier for kids to sound out. So, like an example, the word you barely hear the Y sound. You definitely don't hear the O sound. Technically, the only sound you hear in the word you is the letter U.
You.
So basically, where are we at? I use words such as red, am, see, and things of that nature. So for right here, I see a gray fork. Every single one of those words is a decodable word.
Right.
Every single one of them. We see Chris and Frankie. Chris kind of, Frankie kind of, but again, like it's not full 100% decodable, but more than half
Yes.
of the words in every single sight word stories 1 and 2 is a decodable word. And then at the end, I actually, at least for this book, I have some decodable words that came from the main book because the main book is supposed to tie in with this. So every time I release a Chris and Frankie story, it's always going to be 2 books released at the same
Okay.
time, a main book as well as a sight word book.
Okay.
And then the sight words will come from the main book. So the sight words, well, at least at the end of the story, they'll come from. So the sight words at the end of this story came from this story.
I see. Okay. And
And
so,
thank you, Miss Ronnie. I'm sorry.
yes, you're getting a lot of hearts. Yes. So, can you give 2 or 3 tips to parents of what they can do to help children with reading
Cool.
and tying
So
it into music?
my first tip is definitely pre-reading skills. Before anybody can read, they have to be read to. So the more you read to them, and there's a lot of music storytellers out there besides myself. One of them, his name is Vicky Weber. Another one is named Colorfully Playing the Piano. I want to say is the name. If I mess it up, please, please don't shoot down the messenger. There's also Tara, who, oh my gosh, all these names. If you go on my page, I'm gonna make a separate post because I'm forgetting names right now. But there's
Okay.
a whole bunch of other music educators. There's one who has a book called EGBDF. I want to say the Yak and Face the Flamingo. Um, oh my gosh, Franklin Willis has a book called Edward's Rhythm Sticks. It's a very interactive book. Definitely check him out. Um, there is an F Flat Books. They are an organization that has a collection of music book authors. So please give them a follow because they are the main reason why this book exists in its form. Because I was their first fellowship author, which means that they literally basically paid for this book to become possible.
Now tell us that name again,
F
because I
Flat
want to put
Books.
this in the post when I post this.
Yep, they're F Flat Books.
F
F.
Flat
Yep.
Books.
All one word.
Okay. That.
And
Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
sorry, and then my second tip would be to go on letter scavenger hunts. I don't know if that's something new that I just came up with randomly because I never heard of it, but going on letter scavenger hunts. I think the most easiest letter to go on a letter scavenger hunt is the letter O because it looks like an oval or a circle depending on who draws it. Most kids recognize an oval or a circle. So if you tie that, what is it called? I can't think of the phrase right now, but if you tie that in, oh my gosh, scaffolding. So it's called scaffolding when you tying in something that they already know to something new. So they might already recognize an oval or a circle, but they don't recognize the letter O. So if you tell them, yes, F Flat Books. So if you tell them O looks like an oval or a circle, and then you go to a stop sign because there's stop signs all over the place, you can use that for your scavenger hunt. License plates, street signs. If you start to label things in your home, like all of those things are very, very beneficial. I'm going to see if I can actually tag them.
Okay. That is very important. Reading to children,
Yep.
you need to be reading even when your child is in the womb.
Yep.
Reading to them, getting them used to words, getting them to see that reading is an enjoyable activity and not
And
something
yep.
that you're being forced to do.
Thank you. And that was going to be my third tip. Make it fun. You can't be like this. Ready to play, long hair puppy, tired out, short hair kid. I mean, that one kind of ties in. But ready to play, long hair puppy. Oh, and look, we have this kitty. This kitty is tired. And they have very short hair, but if you look at the puppy, he has long hair. So, just doing little simple inflections to grasp their attention, because if you read it without energy, then they're not gonna
They're
want to
bored.
listen to you read. Thank
Exactly.
you.
Yes.
Yep.
Those are great tips. Great. And thank you for putting that in F Flat Books. I'm going to check
Yep.
that out myself even. And letter scavenger hunts.
Yep.
Looking around for shapes. That's reinforcing shapes that
And
look like a letter. That is, yes.
and I actually have a song that's unreleased, but I'm hoping that before Christmas it can be ready. Definitely the first letters A through G, which is part of the music alphabet, that will definitely be released. But I plan on eventually doing a whole song to just give tips and tricks on how to recognize letters a lot quicker, because there's about 4 or 5 letters that kind of tie into all the other letters. And it's like once you have that, you can expand upon that.
Yeah. So Chris, let me ask you, how
Yeah.
long have you played the piano? How long have you been a musician?
So I've been playing the piano for close to what, probably 20 years, but I haven't been doing it to its full capacity,
Okay.
because I have other hobbies like writing, and then now I have kids and things of that nature. But I feel like I can do what I feel I need to do. I wouldn't necessarily call myself a pianist, but I love playing the piano, and there's a lot of things that I can play, and I enjoy. And that's I'm actually bumped into a lot of pianists or fellow piano enthusiasts over the weekend, who
Okay.
some of them were kind of like doubting themselves, and when they were playing, I'm like, I can play that, but I can't play that yet. So you are doing you're doing really really good. And then I tried to encourage them, like, don't compare yourself to other people that play the piano, because we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. And the things that you're doing right now, I'm not going to tell them I can't do, but you're like doing it. Then they listen to me like, oh my gosh, you sound amazing. Thank you, but so do you.
That's a wonderful lesson, not to compare
Yep,
yourself to others. There's such a fine line with that because as writers, as artists, we're told to look at what other people are doing in your
yep,
genre and see how that, just look at that. And you have to be careful when you're
mm-hmm,
looking
yep,
not to do that comparison. And
yeah,
I think that spills over into life. You look at other
yeah.
people who seem to have more, and you may have a tendency to compare
Yep.
yourself. So thank you for sharing that lesson.
No,
That is powerful.
yeah, no problem. It's like there's nothing wrong with comparison, but don't compare yourself and beat yourself down to say, well, oh my God, because then you're going to, if it's even a word, demotivate yourself to get to a level that you want to get to,
Yes,
or
exactly.
or discourage, I guess, is an actual word. I don't think
Yes.
demotivate is a word, but yeah.
Yeah, I get the meaning. I think we all understand what you're talking about.
Yeah,
So you told us some things that are what's next for you. You are in the process of creating your LLC.
yep,
You have songs that you have prepared to come out near the end of the year,
yep.
new books that you're going to be writing. It just sounds so exciting. And what you're doing is very valuable for children.
Thank you.
And it'll help them. It's just so important. The work that you're doing is very important.
Thank you.
Um, you are welcome. So now tell me, how do you, when you do your songs, you tie them into your books? Tell us about that process.
Cool. So in my next book, Kristen Frankie's Side War Stories 3 and 4, because basically at this, on the back of this book, it has two affirmations. One says, I am amazing. The other one says, I am one of a kind. Months ago, I ended up turning those phrases into like mini songs. And I was like, wait a minute. Instead of putting it on the back of my book for my next book, I want to include something inside the book. So I ended up creating an affirmation song, which goes, oh gosh, I am awesome. I'm bold and brave. I'm creative. I'm delightful. I am enough. I'm full of fun. I am grateful. There's just one me. So I don't know if you could hear, but there was a lot of repeating melodic phrases in that.
Yes,
The first three are all the same, then the fourth one is different. Then the same thing with the next three. They're all the same, then that fourth one is different. So it's
yes,
like once you learn the first phrase, you know 75% of the song. Then once you learn that last phrase, you know the other 25% of the song. And originally what happened was I had a different mind frame for what I wanted the melody to be. But as I was singing it, naturally I kept going to what I just sang. So I was like, since I'm naturally going to this, I have to stop fighting it and just go with what's coming to me, which is this. And I was sitting in the parking lot waiting for my wife did she did like a like an online sale,
Yes, yes.
and I was waiting for the person and they were taking forever. But thankfully they took forever because them taking forever ended up making me change the melody of the song, which actually works 1,000 times better. And because like mainly I wanted it so that because I don't know if it's seen in the sticker, but the pattern is yellow, blue. Wow, I say yellow, blue, yellow, green, blue, red, purple, purple, blue, and that pattern continue on. So actually, the first phrase or the first syllable is C. The next syllable, I am is going to be your F. Blah, 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 all is going to be blue, and some is going to be red. And that phrase, CFEF, repeats 3 times. And so I wanted, and that's not something that is kind of like flat out said. It kind of has to be discovered, but I'm saying it because I'm on the live now. But basically that's something that people have to kind of experiment with, because so I actually forgot to say Darlene is kind of the main reason. She's a music educator who got me connected to F flat books, but Brittany, she got me connected on Clubhouse. So I got on the Clubhouse through Brittany. Because of Brittany, I got connected to Darlene by being in a room interacting with people. Darlene got me connected to F flat. F flat got me, and I forgot to say their names, Sarah and David, 2 siblings that created F flat. They got me connected to Dustin, and now I have books 3 and 4 coming out in October because of them.
Because of the connect. Oh,
Yeah, yep.
yes.
So and actually to back it up a little bit, I self-published the book originally, but the book got into its second edition because even though my illustrations were simplistic, the message was strong enough, and my story was made, I don't want to say made sense, but the story flowed and my vision made enough sense for them to say, yes, this is a story that we want to support. And we're actually going to take it a step further and actually pay for your book to get the touch up that it needs to get spread out to the masses.
Amazing. That
Yeah.
congratulations on
Thank
that.
you.
Yes,
Yep.
that is
Yeah.
wonderful. So you got a lot of hearts going. I'm just looking through to see if anybody
Yep.
has any questions for you. Any questions, anyone? Chris, the work that you're doing is amazing. I'm just looking through to see any comments or questions.
Thank
Someone
you,
said, I
Ronnie.
love that. And they like your pointers for
Cool,
parents.
cool.
Yeah, yes.
Excuse me.
So how can we
Aunties
support
and
you?
uncles too. So the main thing that I would love support is, I said it already, but for those that are just joining, if you want to support me, I would love for my books to be suggested to your local libraries. Um, so each library looks for something different, but most libraries want to know the title of the book. So Chris and Frankie, Intro to Our Ebony and Ivory Keys. They want to know the author's name, which is Christopher E. Singleton Sr. Some want the illustrator's name too. His name is Dustin James. And some want the barcode. So I can type that in the chat, or if you don't mind typing it up for me.
You could, oh, someone asked, well, I'm gonna ask you this question while you type.
Yep, yep.
I'm sure your fingers are quicker than mine. Do you have any stories of kids who have used these characters to learn about music? Any of the children that you've worked with? Do you have?
Yep, I'm gonna get to that. Actually,
Okay.
I typed up the wrong number. It's 978.
Okay.
Three,
And the number that you're typing
967.
in is
That's the ISBN for the
okay.
main book. I actually messed up on two numbers.
Well, you know what? And when we're finished,
Oh
I'm
yeah, I
going
can.
to
Yeah, I can. Yep,
I want you to
I can
message
send
it
it
to
to
me
you.
because I
Yep,
will put it in the comments when I post this.
cool. So, what is the thing called? I don't have a personal story. However, Sarah, who's in charge of FLAT Books, she has used the book, and I want to say her student had ADHD, and typically very like moving around a lot and things of that nature. But she said while they were reading the book, they were focused and they also retained the information that was said in the book. So they learned how to find C quickly, they learned how to find F quickly. And then also I want to say her student memorized Twinkle Twinkle Little Star after they went through it. um Most of my experience, not necessarily it hasn't been children, it's been with adults. But it's like if the adults are retaining it, that doesn't necessarily mean the children are going to as well. But they're like, oh my gosh, like I learned that much quicker than I expected to. um so my experience with children hasn't been related to this book, but it actually has been related to the methods that I've used in the book.
Got,
So let me not discredit myself
got to
fully.
understand.
I did piano workshops in high school, and then I've done piano workshops at the elementary level where so in the back of this book, this is one of the main things that I use. Which eating utensils do you think tie in to the character? So I want to focus on Chris because his is an easier one. So do you think chopsticks relate to him or spork?
Okay, let me ooh, I would say a fork. Oh no, chopsticks because of the C.
Yep, thank you, exactly. Yep. So also because chopsticks comes in a pair of two, and if you remember earlier, I talked about Chris. He has the two black keys. So that's the extra connection to the chopsticks. And yes, so because chopsticks starts with C, that's also the other connection.
Yes.
So I have utilized that probably. I want to say I've talked to over maybe 200, 300 students utilizing that method.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
but
ne-
I haven't done that yet with the book. But that method is discussed in this book. So
yes.
thank you for that question.
Okay. Now what happened? I think did I see that you had a Kickstarter?
Yes, so I did have a Kickstarter. My Kickstarter did not reach its financial goal. However, I feel successful with my Kickstarter, and I'm being honest about this. I feel successful with my Kickstarter because my main goal was making more people aware, and I did that. So because of that, I feel like my Kickstarter was successful. No, it didn't reach its financial goal, but it did reach its awareness goal. And I just know for the next time that I do a Kickstarter, I just have to make sure that I have a larger audience. So I have to get my email list going. And like I said, I have an LLC that I'm getting ready to start. So that's going to open up my collections of emails. I have quite a bit of events happening in September. I have one happening in October. I have one happening in November. Those are the only ones that I know about. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more. But so it's like, yes, it was a stumble, but I know all these, so I can actually tie it back into my initial story. My mom told me, it's not God saying no, it's him saying not yet.
Yes.
So yeah, yep. So
Yes. Tell us where are you going to be in September? Because I'm in the Charlotte area too.
yep. So I don't want to mess up the dates. Actually, no, I do have the dates. So September 10th, I'm actually going to be in Rock Hill, South Carolina, at Two Scoops, which is an uh, ice cream shop. I'm going to be
Yes.
doing a workshop with well, technically whoever comes there, but my focus is going to be infants and toddlers, and then preschoolers and up. September 17th, Union County Heritage Festival is happening. I'm going to be a guest reader for them. Union County, I want to say, at least for me, it's like a 45-minute drive. Um, and then September 24th, I'm going to be reading at That's Novels Books. I'm not sure which book I'm going to be reading yet, but I'm going to
Yes.
be reading a book. October 8th, I'm hoping that I'll be releasing my next two books on that day at Editions in Kannapolis, North Carolina. And November 19th, I'm going to be doing a workshop on steps for self-published authors at a library in Charlotte. I don't want to say the wrong library, but it's
Yes.
going to be
Yes.
at one of the libraries in the Charlotte region.
So you are on the move. You have a lot
Yeah.
going on. That
Yep.
is wonderful. And tell us, we can keep up with you on Instagram to find out the details
More
of
details.
these.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. And I'll put your Instagram, of course. I'll put that in the comments. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. I'm so glad
Yes.
you joined me. Does
Thanks for
anyone
having
have
me.
any other questions for Chris? You had a lot of hearts, and I even saw a fire emoji go up.
Yep, I saw that too. And then
Yes, yes.
if you want to purchase a copy, please go ahead and purchase a copy. Leave a review. But the main thing for me is requesting the book at your libraries and asking people, not telling people, but suggesting to people to do the same. It'll literally cost you nothing but maybe a minute of your time. Some libraries requests are a little bit longer, so maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but it shouldn't be more than that. And actually, at the end of this month, I'm going to be doing an event with CLT Scrapbooking. I want to say is their handle, but I'm going to be offering free services at that event, doing mini lessons. Basically the same thing that I'm going to be doing when I start up my LLC.
Excellent, excellent. Now, can we purchase your books on your website, or where do we purchase your books?
Hey, thank you for the support, Dream and Color Publications. So I actually don't have a website yet, but that
Okay.
is coming. I'm going to actually. I feel like you and I have been in a room together with Sarah Archer before. She's also a local author. Her dad is eventually. Once I have the funds, her dad is going to be working on the website for me. But a website is coming. I already own the domain. I just
Yeah.
have to get it up and running. So the
Yeah.
hope is by the latest November, December, that'll be up and running. But for now, this book is, if I'm not mistaken, on sale on Amazon for like $4. Chris and Frankie's site where stories 1 and 2. Target has it. Barnes and Noble has it. Actually, the best places to support it are these 6 local bookstores. Second Look Books has it. Park Row Books has it.
Wait a minute,
Uh,
slow down. Second lookbook.
yep. Second Look Book has it. Park Row Books has it. That's Novel Books has it. Main Street Books has it. Ba, 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 ba. I am missing 2. Urban Reader Bookstore has it. Why am I missing one? I said That's Novel. I said Second Look Books. I said Main Street. I said Park Road.
Park Road.
Yep.
Okay.
So actually, real quick, I'm gonna go in a circle. Let's see. We have Editions.
Editions.
Yep. I can actually see if I can tag them.
Okay. Second Look Books. Park Road. These are bookstores in this Charlotte area.
Mm-hmm.
Park Road. That's Novel. Main Street. Urban Reader. And Editions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So are you tagging one of them, or
All if people have a moment. Yeah.
okay. So while you're doing that, just remember, I just want to remind everyone about my upcoming release of Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition, and hope that you will love this new book. It's a historical fiction about
Hmm.
growing up in Newark, New Jersey during the 1960s, and it takes place during the summer of the 1967 rebellion or revolution or riot, as many people refer to it as. But it's a story of an 8-year-old girl, family love, and 3 generations of her colorful family as they live through this time period.
Yep. So
Um,
I I tagged them all. If you
okay,
can
great.
purchase it through them, purchase it through them. Support local independent bookstores. And I am. You said August 23rd. You're doing your relaunch.
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
August 23rd. Oh, I'm seeing all of your tags. Excellent. And I want to make sure I get these because I need some of these bookstores I didn't even know about. So thank you for sharing this.
Yeah, there's actually 11 independent bookstores in the Charlotte area, and each one has their own different consignment requirements. But
Yes.
I'm in I'm in 6 out of the 11, so it's not
Yes.
it's not impossible.
That's the thing. It's not impossible. It is
Yep,
doable.
yep.
Thank you for sharing it. Such inspiring. You've inspired me to push through and get things done.
Yep.
So thank you. Does anyone have any more questions for Chris?
Thank you all for tuning in and sticking around. I've seen some names like since the beginning, so that was awesome.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Okay, Chris. So glad that you were here with me. Everyone, thank you for joining. And until next time, I wish you love, laughter, and literacy. Good night,
Cool.
everyone.
Have a good one, everyone. Thank you, KP, for having me.
You are welcome.
I appreciate it.